Guess who's back? Back again. Tacos with Friends is back. Shout out to Microtransaction.
Speaking of microtransactions, he's here.
Right. But yeah, Microtransaction, he's sitting outside watching the fire.
Microtransaction, say something.
Oh, yeah, I mean microtransgender.
Yeah,
Microtrans DD.
Yeah, we're not, we don't have a problem with the transgender folk.
Not at all.
Shouts out. But we're back again. Back in the garage. Back on record.
This is our last week was the first podcast. Or no. It was the second. This is the third podcast in the garage. I think. Because
third or fourth.
Kurt, CJ.
Shout out to Kurt.
CJ now.
CJ now. Kurt
CJ.
changed his name on us.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, we made another week.
We got the other guy,
Microtransaction.
He's out there watching the fire.
He's a little microphone shy. But,
He's fucking angry.
We're gonna break him in.
He's watching the fire and fishing.
Right. We're gonna break him in. Kurt sporting the no lack zone hat, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the blue blockers, but Kurt does have a members only jacket on, so
It looks good. It does look good.
All right. So we got a couple things. Not a lot happened.
Kurt's got a lot to say though. All right, we cut Kurt off kind of at the end last week.
Hey, happy birthday to Kurt. Tuesday was Kurt's birthday.
444,
Yeah,
Kurt.
Yeah, thank you.
He's 44 years old.
You're 44 years old, Kurt.
That's a bit.
Man.
Four twice. He's
Kurt,
four
I thought you were
twice.
37.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, Kurt, I thought you were 37. Sorry.
He's
Then
a
I
young
woke
man.
up.
Yeah. So, let's see what's going on now. Roseanne came back.
Great show.
Really?
I got to catch up with the new season.
Okay, so
but I've always enjoyed Roseanne.
this is my thing with Roseanne. Supposedly, in this this reboot of the show, Roseanne is a Trump supporter. Now, in the past seasons, I would think that Roseanne wouldn't be a Trump supporter.
She seems like she would be. They're
But-
like middle class America, red blooded, just
Really?
down home folk.
But Roseanne had black friends.
And
Everyone's got.
Oh,
Kurt's
I
got black
just-
friends.
right,
Kurt's got black friends.
I got.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I got black.
Wait a minute. Wait. Kurt's black?
Kurt's white.
Kurt's black?
Yeah.
Kurt's white.
Man, I'll just say, Kurt, you told me you were Republican. All this time I thought you were white.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
He's got
no.
black friends. You're his friend.
I got black friends.
I wouldn't go as far as saying, friends.
We're on the podcast.
Right, yeah. I
sometimes.
just thought, this is just a guy that's on the podcast every
Yeah,
now and then,
I associate.
All right. Also, so I think I was telling you
You were
from what we were talking about last week
last week.
about guys jumping from high school to the G League.
Yes.
A high schooler, instead of going to college, instead of going overseas, he's going straight to the G League. Now, these are the rules that I've heard. He can sign with a G League team, and he can get traded in the G League.
Okay.
But he can't get called up.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask both of you a question? And microtransaction, if you're out there too, do you guys think he was listening to the podcast last week and then had an epiphany and said, "Hey, you know what?
You know what?
I
Even
should do that."
if he wasn't, I'm taking credit for that shit.
We
No,
called it.
because
Right,
you know
we
what?
called it.
Let me tell you. He was committed to go to Syracuse.
And then he heard the podcast.
He heard the podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? These guys, they might be onto something.
Exactly.
Still
So,
hasn't commented on the fucking channel though. All right, asshole. What's his name?
oh, I'm
Do we
sorry.
got a
Let me look it up. But you know what I mean. But if he did want to send a thank you to us,
Right.
he can get into contact with us. Taco with Friend on Twitter. Tacos with Friends podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah,
Send
fuck you
your
guys for not
questions
saying anything to
and
us.
replies there. Also, you could check us out on YouTube. We're there as well.
Every time we say something, it goes up on YouTube.
Yeah, it goes right up on YouTube. We're there forever.
That's probably the best way to get to us.
Right. We're with that guy. What's that guy that played the video games? PewDiePie or what is his name?
PewDiePie and now Ninja's the big one.
Who?
Ninja, the dude who
the fuck is that?
streamed with Drake, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Who? I'm not.
Fortnite. You know that Fortnite game? Kurt? Fortnite?
Oh,
Not at
okay.
all.
I know which
Never
Fortnite is, but I don't know the guy named Ninja.
Ninja streamed with Drake. Who, you guys know Drake, right?
Oh, of course.
Well,
Who
yeah,
doesn't know
yeah,
who Drake is?
Exactly. Jimmy, the
Juju
hotel.
Smith-Schuster, who's a wide receiver.
Okay.
And
So,
Travis Scott.
guy's name, Darius
Broke a bunch of records for people watching.
Basley
Okay.
was committed to Syracuse, decided, you know what, I'm not going to go there.
Darius,
I just heard this
thanks for listening.
podcast.
Thanks for listening,
And
Darius.
these guys, they put something in my brain.
Exactly.
I'm going straight to the G League. So
Put the thoughts.
what he can do is he can play the 1 year in the G League,
Yes,
and he can go into the draft again.
exactly.
So
Which is a great plan.
yeah,
Because
That's like
everybody
exactly what we
forgets
Exactly
at
what I
today of 2018, you have numerous ways of getting your degree. You don't have to actually do 4 years of college anymore. You can go to school for 18 months and get a degree.
University
Because
of Phoenix.
the world actually is not
South Sub. Everybody
performing
needs to go South Sub.
the
Now-
jobs they have degree in.
now you know what?
45 to 50% of the people who have a degree don't actually have a job in that degree field.
Now you know what, Kurt? I hope
That
he
is
doesn't.
true.
I hope he doesn't
That
get
is
a
true.
PhD.
Everybody I know who went to school is not in the same field.
Because you know
Yeah.
what? Know what a PhD is, Kurt?
Player hated degree.
Kurt, I can tell you ain't a player hater.
No,
I ain't got that one, Kurt. I ain't got that degree.
I ain't no player hater.
I ain't got that degree. I've never hated on the players.
Not at all.
Never on the players. Get your money, player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I did want to talk about Stephon Clark. Or is it
Yeah.
Stephon Clark?
Stephon Clark.
Can we
Stephon
get to
Clark.
say it's I mean, if we're going to talk sports, it's
No, he's not.
But
He's not a
the
sports.
sport- He's
not a
the
sports
latest
star.
victim of the
See,
20
and that's
shots.
the but that's the thing. That's
I
the
was
thing.
saying
Jim.
it's baseball.
It's so fucked up, right? That this should be a bigger story. You don't know shit about it.
Right.
I've been kind of laying low for the past couple of weeks.
But
Right.
it's fucked up. You should know shit. Like we were saying last week. It's like the shit just happens so much that it's not. It don't even seem like a big
Exactly. It becomes an everyday, regular thing.
It's just
It's-
another
you,
thing.
you don't even watch the news footage anymore.
Just
I don't even
for-
watch the news because I know it's going to be somebody of a darker skin getting murdered that week. Why do I need to watch the news for that? It's going to happen regardless
deal.
if I watch
Exactly.
it.
Might not be a Republican, but we do care. Now,
Exactly.
from the story that I've read, let me catch you up on it. So,
Okay.
Sacramento police, there was a call in that somebody was breaking into vehicles. They went out to this neighborhood. They saw a young man. They went into his backyard at his grandmother's house. The police shot 20 times. From what I'm reading, he was shot 8 times. Shot 8 times in the back.
Wow.
Well,
Shot
I
dead.
think though, out of 20, 8 in the back, probably the ending. That when he's rolling over.
You said after he's already laid out, shot
And you gotta
16
think, though,
times. He got
over
shot 8 times
50%
in
of the shots went to the front, which means he probably got shot in the front
and then rolled over to
and
the
then
back and then
got-
completed.
No, they shot 20 times. I don't think all 20 hit him.
No. I understand what Jim's saying. Just imagine the 20 shots, 10 of the 20 went in the front, then he rolled over. Then the 18 total went
Or
into the
8,
back.
yeah.
So 8 went into the back, 10 went into the front. So the other 2
You see what I'm
Are
saying?
you warning shots?
All right, so let me just say
You guys
this.
still talking about this power bottom shit?
No, that's on your mind.
I watch a lot of like the police. Basically, if you guys follow on YouTube, police activity,
Right.
they post a lot of the police body cam photo or
Right.
stuff.
There is a body cam video of this
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I watch
So
it all
I'm
the
curious.
time.
Let me just
Live
qualify this. I haven't seen the body cam yet. I'm not sure if they've released it or if
It's out.
so I haven't seen it. I'll have to while you guys are talking. I will look it up.
Well, yeah, we
But
speculate.
usually, what happens is like they'll shoot him, and then the dude's rolling over, or and then they just kind of empty, just they're just-
Exactly. As he takes
Stop
his
moving,
last
stop,
breath,
yeah.
he rolls over.
So-
but he gets
so let me
shot
ask you a
8 times
question.
in the back.
Once you're down, should the cop try to empty the clip on you?
And yes, because now there isn't another YouTube channel you should watch. It's called Active Self Protection, and there are examples of this. Is once suspects are down, and if there's a weapon close by, it is very likely, and it does happen where they will reach for the weapon and just try in their last
So,
grasp to reach.
but let me
so
ask you this next
if they're
question.
reaching for a weapon and it's close and they're still deemed a threat, it's something that's got to be
Now, the
I haven't
weapon,
seen the video.
the
I'm not
weapon in
qualified.
question that they said he had was an everyday iPhone.
Ooh.
So, what's the excuse?
Right, because what happened to the warning shots? A long time ago, even in the late 80s, police stopped giving warning shots. They
Well,
used
right
to
now-
shoot 2 shots in the air.
Well, right now,
to
a
get you
warning
to
shot
stop
is just gonna signal if, let's just say, obviously this dude had an iPhone. Put yourself in this now. Obviously, just put yourself not in the situation with a cop because that's just so like taking the cop side. But I'm just saying like put yourself in the situation of if that dude does have a gun. 2 warning shots is just signaling to hey, just shoot over here now. Why would I give a guy a warning shot? This kind of what's the point of that?
You would give a person a warning shot to give them the option to stop.
But if I'm shooting at you,
but see, you shouldn't be shooting at me because you don't have a reason to shoot at me. At that current time.
That's what I'm saying. If in the perfect environment, I'm shooting at you because I'm in fear of my life.
How are you shooting at me if I'm running away from you and you're in fear of your life? You can't be afraid of me if I'm running away from you.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is if I'm in a situation where I think a dude's about to draw a gun on me, why am I going to give a warning?
Okay, that's why you practice at the range to make sure that the target that you looking at is actually drawing a weapon.
How fast does a situation happen?
No. It doesn't matter how fast.
So the thing is,
we're talking about warning shots, and now you're talking about speed.
I get where you're coming from completely, but I think the big butt. There's always a butt somewhere.
Big.
Always a big butt somewhere. If you know what I'm saying.
And they cannot lie.
If you know what I'm saying.
Big
butt. All right, now, Jim, I think we're giving. Unfortunately, we're not saying cops' jobs are easy, but
not at all.
They have a pretty big responsibility. If you it's almost like. If you're scared, go to church, man.
You scared, go to church.
If you're scared, go to church.
Not even that. If you're scared don't take this particular job. Because that's why I'm not a cop. Because I probably would have been dead already.
What I will say is, even in the wild West, if you shot a man in the back, they got you out the fucking town.
Exactly.
They got you out the motherfucking town. You had no honor.
Right, because you was a coward. You shoot a man in the back.
And especially if you shoot a man in the back 8 times.
Michael, you sure you don't want to get in on this?
There you go.
No, Michael. No. Michael doesn't need
Michael
to be
transaction.
I can't find the video of it.
Yeah, but even in the Wild West, if you shot a man in the back, they got you out the town.
You're right.
There's no excuse for shooting somebody in the back 8 times.
No.
No. Not. And even in Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover, he told Mel Gibson, he said, "You know what? You're killing people. You know what I do? I shoot him in the leg. Now I can talk to him."
Right.
Danny Glover said that. Everybody knows Danny Glover. Right. American poet.
Yeah. See, but in real life, I
shoot
him in the leg.
Or even can shoot him in the ass.
I shoot him in the leg. Now I give him time to reach for the gun and shoot back at him.
But the thing is, he didn't have a gun.
That's what I'm saying. In this situation, obviously.
Well, but the thing is, with the situation of all black guys being shot recently, none of them have had a gun.
No.
But we're taking the situation. But if you put yourself, let's just say that the cop deep down thought that was a legitimate gun.
Right.
If he really thought that was a gun.
Right.
In that situation.
Right.
He wants to kill it.
Right. But what he should have done then is let the assailant take the first shot. If he thought he had a weapon, he should have let him take the first shot so he can claim self-defense.
It's all about pointing the weapon.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I haven't seen the video.
Nobody ever sees videos.
Well, I don't think that he pointed his iPhone at him.
That's what I'm saying. In this situation, it's a little bit. But
so
I understand this situation is wrong. But I could see why. But
black men stop carrying phones.
What Curtis is talking about is saying that we need to wait for somebody to take the first shot until a cop can shoot.
No,
that's what you just said.
But I'm saying if you in that particular idea that this person has a weapon, let them prove that they have a weapon
by pointing it, and then you kill them.
No, by hearing the shot.
I would say
no, because then you're dead. Because then you're dead.
It's called taking cover.
I would say verify that the person has a gun.
Right, it's called taking cover.
I agree with that. Yes, in this situation, it is obviously
I'm talking about
wrong.
I'm just saying the latest situations that I've seen of black guys getting shot. Hasn't been a lot of verification in it. It's just pretty much just been black guys.
The only situations you see of guys getting shot are when it goes wrong, dude.
Everything is wrong.
No, it's not. I mean, if you were to fucking go follow the YouTube channel. They post it as it happens.
Living on YouTube. You just didn't live in real life.
Where are you getting all the information from?
Not YouTube.
Where's it from?
Real life.
Real life.
Because I was a young black man that was shot by the police or shot at by the police, so I can live my experiences. But at the same time, I was not drawing a weapon.
So because you live something, that means I can't have an informed opinion on it.
Not on YouTube, you can't.
When I'm watching, so obviously video evidence doesn't count against something that you're telling me.
As a 12-member jury, if they actually convicted somebody by
and that's the thing I would say. That's the one thing I would say is obviously. Like if we're just going off of the instances that happen, you know what I mean? Cops have a hard job. I'll admit that.
But if you watch the body camera of guys getting shot at, and then returning fire, why I'm basically what I'm trying to challenge. We're bouncing all over our points right now. Is what I'm challenging is your point that we need to wait for them to shoot at you first before you can return fire. That's unbelievably ridiculous.
No, it's not, because
that's extremely ridiculous. I'm done. No, I'm done arguing because it's extremely stupid.
It's no argument. It's a discussion.
You have to wait to get shot at. You have to wait to get killed.
I wouldn't say wait. Like I said verify that you have a weapon.
Freeze.
Right. Verify that there's
I'm not arguing that this is a situation where it's not justified. This is obviously wrong where the dude had a fucking cell phone. But situations where a kid has a fucking BB gun, he's pointing at a cop. Right. That's a situation where the kid is in a stupid situation running from a cop pointing a fucking BB gun.
Right.
Situations like that, you're going to get shot. Situations where you're pointing a gun at a cop as you're fleeing, you're going to get shot. You shouldn't be in that situation.
You shouldn't be in
situations where obviously a dude who is, in the wrong place at the wrong time holding a cell phone in his hand getting shot.
No such thing as the wrong place at the wrong time when you're at your family's house.
That's anyway. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know the situation of how this happened. But if a dude having a cell phone in his hand getting shot is obviously wrong. But what we're arguing right now is the fact that if a guy has a legitimate gun, or if we have a situation where somebody's in a threatening situation, like the Michael Bennett situation, somebody gets Michael Bennett where he got arrested because he was in a.
We talked about
this when he was in Las Vegas during the Mayweather fight.
Right,
when
because
the cops,
he was the blackest guy in the neighborhood.
Because cops were responding to a situation where they thought there was an active shooter in a fucking
just like
casino.
He was supposedly be the one that tossed over a paralytic 66-year-old woman at a stadium when his brother won.
You're
Super
bouncing
Bowl.
around right now, dude. We're talking about three.
You want brought up Michael Bennett?
I'm trying to.
How am I bouncing around? You brought up Michael Bennett.
I'm turning around to an overarching point right now. The context is
because
thing,
Michael Bennett was the biggest dude in the neighborhood to be seen. That's because the only reason why Nevada police looked at him.
Because he was running away from cops, trying to hide.
As I said. As black men, we don't run away. We run for our lives. We don't run from the scene.
Now I'm trying to tell you, if you put yourself in a cop's... I'm bringing up Michael Bennett to bring up to an overarching part. You guys you specifically, Kurt, are bouncing around and like...
What's the exact point?
What I'm trying to say is right now is if a cop is responding to a situation where he is thinking that there is a perpetrator with a gun. Again, I'm speaking generally. I'm not speaking on the situation where this guy got killed with a pistol or with a cell phone. Right. But I'm talking situations right now because Kurt, what I'm harping on is that right now he wants that there needs to be a warning shot or until someone points a weapon at you or somebody needs to shoot at you before you can return fire. In a situation where a police officer is being dispatched, there's an active shooter, there's a gun in the situation, you guys need to be advised, and they're coming up ready to shoot. That's kind of how you're going to, because if it does happen where you respond, hey, gun, there's a guy with a gun. Usually when there's a report of a guy with a gun, there's a dude with a gun and you can get shot at.
Right.
So situations like that, they're coming up hot. Like in the Michael Bennett situation, they're coming up thinking that there's a casino shooter. Because you know what happened 2 months after that Michael Bennett thing? There was a legitimate casino shooter, and he killed 50 people.
Right.
Okay? So
that European American.
He was. But that doesn't mean anything. You're bringing race into...
I'm not bringing up Michael Bennett.
What I don't understand
because the only reason why you're bringing up Michael Bennett is because of his race.
I'm not.
Because Michael Bennett had nothing to do with the conversation.
Michael Bennett does have something to do with the conversation.
Why? Because he was targeted because of his race?
Because he was saying that he was unjustified in being arrested. You're bouncing around. No, let me fucking finish. What I'm saying is, the reason you're bringing it up, you bring into race. I don't understand why when we're talking about black people, we need to bring race out of the situation.
See, that's the thing about European Americans.
They're
always afraid to talk about race when race matters because they always put the prevalence on race. We're talking about a young man being shot to death in his grandparents' backyard.
You're bringing race into it. You just said that the European American did it at the Route 50 at the 50
right,
the people that died.
You want to say Michael Bennett was blamed during this shootout, but let's make sure
Curtis,
that we let the people know
I really hope
that the
everybody
European
listening to this
American
is educated because
was the one that did
you're
the shooting
bringing
in
race
Vegas.
into this. I never brought fucking race. I'm saying how. Now listen.
Don't be afraid to bring race into
I'm talking about how Michael Bennett is being wrong. How you're accusing Michael Bennett of being wrongly accused to being why he could have possibly been detained the way he was, and you're bringing race into it. What I'm saying is the way he was detained the way he was is because shit that happened 2 weeks after that happens. That's why the response was so aggressive because shit that's happening right now where people are shooting people up with bump stocks and automatic rifles is a thing that happens in our society.
Right. And Michael Bennett was the only one that was
so
running
police
from the scene.
but he was running from the scene and
He's
ducking
the only
and
one
hiding.
running from the scene.
He was
What you
ducking and
saying.
hiding. And when
The only one running and hiding from the scene.
and when he was detained, he was detained by a single
Only
officer.
one detained, running and hiding from the scene. Because that's what you're saying. Out of all the people that was there, he was the only one running, hiding, and detained.
What I
for
will
whatever
say,
reason,
what I will
he
say
was-
about the Michael Bennett thing is though,
Was he the only black guy there, Kurt? Was he the
couldn't
only
have been.
fucking black guy there?
He couldn't have been.
Obviously
But he
not.
was
So
the
they
only one
picked
running,
that
hiding,
black
and
guy.
detained.
Yeah, whatever.
I would
dude.
say
You bring
that
race into
I will
fucking
say
things,
that
nothing needs to be.
when you get when you look deeper into the Michael Bennett situation, I think in that situation specifically, I think a lot of that shit was really just coincidence. I won't say that was a thing of they targeted the big black guy. I think it just so happens Michael Bennett's a big guy, and he was just the one that they saw. And obviously, if there's a shooting, that just like. For instance, I've been handcuffed by cops, laid on my belly in front of my mother's house for like 30 minutes, just sitting in handcuffs before. And and now when I say that, I'm not saying that to get sympathy in the situation. I was definitely wrong in that situation. So shit happens. And in Michael Bennett's situation, his situation doesn't compare to the guys to the black males that have been killed by police officers, where police officers haven't went to jail.
This is true. Yes.
So that's the things, and I think that's the I think when we kind of talk about when you bring, unfortunately, race has to get brought into it because the guys who are getting killed are majority black males, and the officers who are killing them they're not losing their jobs, they're not going to jail. They're pretty much telling them, look, sit in the office. You're not going to be out. Sit in the office. We're still going to pay you.
Can I just ask you, where did this guy get shot at?
What you talking about? What state?
What city?
Sacramento.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and obviously, and I don't know if you heard
but we're talking about. All right, so when you speak generally, all right. So I don't want to get into this. All right.
No, but
because what I'm speaking of is what's the murder rate and where all these people are getting shot at.
Well, let's see the thing. Yeah, murder. Well, see, that's the thing. When you ask the murder rate,
because if you're asking cops to
police
patrol,
not supposed to murder people.
What I'm saying is if you're asking cops to patrol an area where people are always getting shot and it's
that's their job.
That's what I'm saying. Then they're going to be,
but that's your job. Like my thing is this: when you're like a police officer, you go through certain psychological training to show that you are prepared for the job that's in hand. Now, if you get out there and they just so happen to put you in a neighborhood where motherfuckers are killing each other every day,
where you're going to get shot at.
No, not necessarily, but if you're in a neighborhood where somebody's getting shot every day, or if you get shot at,
but if
that's the job you sign up for.
But if you're in a situation where you're chasing people who have shot people, I mean, then kind of what is your posture supposed to be?
But
so
but the thing is,
that
if you're a
they
police
shot
officer, you sign up for the job expecting for this to happen.
So you're always supposed to be on a soft posture.
It's like saying this. If I sign up for a job to be a fucking florist, I'm not expecting to get shot at when I'm picking out flowers.
Right.
If you sign up for a job to be a police officer,
let me just ask you this: if you sign up to be a florist and you're working in bumfuck nowhere, where let me ask you this: if you're signed up to be a florist all year round, or if you sign up, I'm trying to think how to work this florist. Like this. All right, and I don't mean to sound hostile because
it's a conversation.
We're debating. That's all.
It's a conversation.
We're learning sides right
now.
now.
Yeah, it's a conversation.
But all right, so if I'm a florist in fucking in August, it's different than being a florist during Easter. During Easter, it's a whole different mentality. In certain parts, you're not. You're not a florist everywhere. You're not. The same. Just like if you're working at McDonald's during lunchtime and dinner time. The mentality is different. If you're working as a police officer, I don't know. That's not working.
Well, okay. Well,
I kind of
see that's the thing.
Curtis, fuck you.
So what I'm saying is this: is as a police officer, you're trained. They train you for this, supposedly.
Supposed to.
There's not, you know what I mean? There's not a guarantee that a lot of these guys are trained or even mentally are prepared to be in the neighborhoods they're in.
We live I live down the street from the cops, and we should ask one of them to get on the podcast.
No, but I'm pretty sure when No, and the thing is, I've taken tests to be a policeman, and you meet with a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And they go over certain questions with you. And they're like the dumbest fucking questions ever. And you have to answer them a certain way. And this psychiatrist basically goes back and says, hey, this guy is either mentally stable to where he can work this type of job or he's not. And when you get out here in the street, obviously shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers get arrested. If a motherfucker's selling dope, for motherfuckers, you know what I mean, shooting motherfuckers up, hey, take the motherfuckers to jail. I don't care about them. Like I've always said, people in jail that commit like murders and rapes, them motherfuckers need to be like in Iraq or somewhere. You know what I mean? They need to be on the front lines. Now, my thing is, if you're in a situation where you're looking for a motherfucker that's just breaking into cars, or even in the Philando Castillo thing, where this guy's in a car with his girl and his child in the back seat. And
nobody's arguing that.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not arguing it, but I'm saying these situations, they're happening. But the reason that we're getting angry about it is because it happens. It happens too frequently. It's one of the things where it's like there's one mistake. Then okay, maybe a few years go by. Then it's like okay,
happening too frequently, or is it just being publicized?
No, it's happening too frequently where the cops aren't going to jail. If the thing is, if one of the cops went to jail for it, then maybe I could say, you know what, maybe the law is working how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
But when all of these police officers aren't going to jail, and what has to happen is now it's okay. Well, you're not going to send this cop to jail, and it's basically like they tell the family, well, you know what? Go ahead. And then that's another thing. The family, then they become the publicity from, your CNNs. Fox News really doesn't give a fuck about black people anymore.
The media,
you know what I mean?
Just hypes everything up.
And then you have these news networks that are putting these people in the forefront, throwing microphones in their face after their relatives have just been killed and everything. And then obviously you get no justice by the cop going to jail. So now it's all right. Let's sue the police department or sue the city for some money. Then it looks like, okay, all they care about is the money. But the thing is, these cops aren't going to jail. These cops aren't losing their job. And I'm pro cop because, like I said, my dad's a cop, so I understand the situation that you're in. Right. But I'm pretty sure if you ask any policeman, if a cop shoots and kills somebody that they had no reason to do it, you're a murderer.
Right.
Obviously, yes.
You're a murderer, and murderers should go to jail.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What they're setting is, if you're a policeman and you kill a black guy, if you say, I feared for my life because I thought this cell phone or this Twinkie or this can of soda was a weapon,
pack of Skittles,
and they tell you, all right, cool, I believe you. Don't worry, you're not going to go to jail. We're going to put you on a desk job for a few months until the shit blows over and you'll be right back out. Now you're giving me a reason to be pissed because you don't care. And I think I don't think that anybody is saying we don't, I would say being a policeman is a tough job. Teacher, policeman, firefighter, those are fucked up jobs. Yeah. Those are hard fucking jobs to deal with. But when you take those jobs, you come into those jobs with the sense that this is a tough job. Not everyone can do it. Right. So you have to mentally prepare yourself when you walk out the house that, you know what, some shit like this might happen. Which is why you shouldn't be giving teachers fucking guns to go into the school with.
Right. Because all they're going to say is the biggest kid they can see is intimidating them from the beginning. So that's all they had a reason to shoot them, because they felt intimidated by this child. Because he was the biggest child in the classroom.
And obviously, it's just a fucked up situation, man. Because this guy, from what I heard, the guy had kids. He was a father. And basically, a couple cops went to a backyard, shot him in the back, killed him, and now what happens to his kids now? And then what happens is now you wonder why these kids that don't have a father now it's going to continue this constant cycle.
Right, because with the irony of this, though, I didn't actually agree with what they did at the Sacramento game, because that basketball game had nothing to do with this incident at all. They supposed to perform that protest at the police station, in my personal opinion, not at the basketball game. These players had nothing to do with this.
But you know what, Kurt, and I understand that. But the one way in this country specifically in this country, to make any kind of example, you got to slow up the money. The moment you start slowing up the money, that's when people start to pay attention to you. So I'm pretty sure that owner of the Sacramento Kings wasn't planning on coming to center court and making a statement.
Right.
But the moment you slow up his money, now it's all right. Cool. Let me come out here and make this statement.
Because he almost made a statement in saying "we" or "you people." I'm like, okay, well, see, I don't know which people you're talking about, but I understood what he was coming.
What happened was he made that statement, and for the next home game they had, he had a lot more security there to make sure that shit didn't happen again.
Right.
So that's the thing. So while he's making a statement saying we're all, you got to think, man, the NBA is a majority black league.
Obviously.
If the black people leave the NBA, you pretty much got the Washington Generals. Right. You know what I mean? Like you ain't gonna have no NBA. Right. So this guy, who is an Indian owner of the Sacramento Kings, when you got fucking Vince Carter, Zach Randolph, these are like elder statesmen in the NBA. You got these guys looking at you about what are you gonna do? You got to do something. You got to say something. But obviously, you also got to think, all right, this shit slowed my money down.
Right.
Next game, I'm going to say everything that's good, but next game, I'm going to make sure the shit don't happen again. So I'm going to beef up security a little bit more so I can get my money. So, that happens. What he did, that's cool and all, but that doesn't fix the situation. But like I said, though,
it still shouldn't have been reflected on the Sacramento Kings because they didn't have anything to do with the incident. It should have been taken to City Hall or the police station. It shouldn't have slowed their money, in my personal opinion, because that game had nothing to do with the police murdering this young man. They went to the wrong location.
I can see where you're coming from.
I understand that.
I can see where you're coming from with that. And obviously we had one thing I did want to talk about. I don't know if you guys are up on the Killer Mike situation. You guys aware who Killer Mike is?
Killer Mike. No.
Killer Mike. Killer Mike is a rapper. He was associated with Outkast. Now he's in the rap group Run the Jewels. Kind of fat black guy, Killer Mike. Makes pretty good music. Really good rapper. Killer Mike's pretty much when Bernie Sanders was out, making his run for president, Killer Mike was the guy that kind of stood next to him. Okay. He didn't stand next to Hillary. He kind of stood next to Bernie. Obviously, Bernie didn't win, but thing that happened was obviously with the marches that kind of happened all over. Killer Mike he did an interview with the NRA. And the NRA kind of timed to release this interview right around the time of the marches, where pretty much Killer Mike kind of said that, that he's a member of the NRA. He owns guns. He'll never give up his guns. He pretty much said that his daughter, who's in college, I think there was like a shooting at one of the colleges, and basically he told his daughter, all right, cool, we're about to get you some more gun training on how to use a gun. And Killer Mike kind of got a lot of flack for that because, I guess at the timing of the interview was put out, obviously he said it that from the time he did the interview, they kind of held it up into a point where it was almost like the NRA was using him to go against what was going on with the marches for, gun control.
Yeah. It's very kind of nefarious that way. It definitely has its own agenda.
I would definitely say the NRA, but one thing I do have a problem with, especially with the marches, is, and a lot of people might not like me saying this, is I think a lot of it's kind of bullshit a little bit. And when I say bullshit, I mean that I don't think that children should be our leaders. I don't think that we should put children in the forefront to lead marches. I don't think
they're being guided by somebody. Someone's telling them.
I don't think celebrities should donate money to put children in the forefront. Look at you, Kurt. When you were a young child in 1836, you had Harriet Tubman out there leading the marches, right?
Then you were getting bamboozled,
right?
Listen here, bamboozle. Being bamboozled would never go away. But again, I'm gonna reiterate this: if it wasn't for guns, we wouldn't be in this country. People need to understand. Like I said, read and learn your history. Don't just say it's history because it's history. If it wasn't for the guns, we would not be in
Kurt,
America.
Let me ask you this question: What do you feel about the children out here, kind of marching and kind of taking the lead?
Well, I understand, and I applaud them because, like they stated, They are the future voters. But regardless of who you voting for, if that person is a pansy and an ass kisser, they're going to take the money from whoever is offering it. So you can be a marcher. You can be upset now because nobody gets upset about shit until it happens to them. Because if that shooting never happened at that school, we wouldn't be having this conversation, number one. Number two is, again, without guns, we wouldn't be in America. There would be no America. So you need to pick and choose what you believe in as your right to either be a gun owner or be a victim.
So let me ask you this question, Kurt. I don't think people are trying to. I don't think I don't think people are trying to take your guns away, Kurt.
Right.
But let me ask you a question, Kurt. Do you need an AK-47?
No, you don't need an AK-47. You really don't.
With 30 rounds?
We don't need any of that. You don't need any of that to cause destruction with a gun. A 17 clip, 45 millimeter.
So let me ask you this question: would you agree that that citizens who aren't, in the military, you think they should have AK-47s?
It's your American right to have AK-47s, but I can say we don't need them.
Right.
But as long as they make them and the American money pays for them, and then you have the right to have them, who's to tell you can't have it?
What I'm saying is let's say
make them too expensive to purchase. If that's the case,
well, Kurt, unfortunately, you can't make anything too
exactly. So as long as you can afford it, who's to tell you can't have it?
So coming back to what we said last week, Kurt. So now you're agreeing what I'm saying is if Kurt, when you go buy your AK-47, if somebody in your home gets that AK-47 and goes shoot some people and they take the pussy way out and kill themselves, you should go to jail, right?
Hey, if they get it from a person, if they get it from a person other than themselves, if that gun was not purchased by them, like you said, we take it from the safe and they taking it from that person doesn't report it, yeah, you need to go to jail because you knew that gun was taken out of your safe. But at the same time, bring back executions. If people died for making these murders happen, we wouldn't have anybody killing people because you would be executed. I'm glad
you bring this up, Kurt.
For somebody to be in prison for 50 years before you execute them. Kurt, execute them right away.
Don't you think now this is just my view on execution. I don't think you should do it.
Why?
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you why, Kurt. Tell you why, Kurt. No lack zone, Kurt. No lack zone. I'm not lacking right now. What I'm saying is I think if you execute somebody, I think that's like giving them the easy way out. Let them rot in jail.
No, because you wasted my tax dollars, number one. And at the same time, they didn't let the other people take the easy way out when they committed all these murders. Fuck them, kill them. We wouldn't have all these murders because if people knew that they were going to die instantly, why would you even make an attempt to kill these people that you have no... And that's the other part about it. You killing people you have no grievance with.
All right. Now, Kurt, you might not have an answer to this. And if you don't, please say you don't. What's like your parameters on giving someone the death penalty? Like, does it have to, if somebody just kills one person, if they kill two people,
that's it.
3 people?
All you need is to kill one person.
And you get killed instantly.
Yes, you deserve to die, and I hope you burn in hell.
No. Let me ask this question. Now, does it depend on how the person was killed? It depends on if they shoot them, stab them,
It's only two differences, murder or self-defense. If you can prove self-defense, that means it was a murder.
What if it was accident?
No such thing.
There's
no such thing. Because again, to have a weapon in your hand is not accidental.
No, what I'm saying is this.
This is why I don't call car accidents accidents. They're incidents, not accidents. You were purposely driving the car. You were purposely driving the car. So it's not an accident, it's an incident.
No, let me ask you this question. So let's say somebody is on a hockey rink, for instance, and they're skating.
They're doing that hockey.
Yeah, doing that hockey thing. And he ends up hitting the guy with his shoulder or whatever. What they call that a check, right?
A check.
Exactly. See, Jim, I'm a little smart here, man.
I'm here, guys.
Yeah,
You're here, dude.
I'm a little smart. Now, he checks him, and, he kind of hits him in his head. Guy falls down. He dies. Now, to some people, they'll say this guy who checked him killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Should he get the death penalty?
Yeah, why not?
Jesus Christ, Kurt, you're just trying to. Kurt,
Why
know
not?
what the fuck, Kurt? Are you like on population control? This isn't China.
Yeah, it's about common sense control, because you checking this person, you intentionally trying to hurt this person. A check is not by accident.
Kurt,
you
that's
play
like
hockey-
tackling somebody.
No, it's tackling.
Tackling
Checking
somebody.
are two different
What if
things.
you kill
Isn't
somebody?
Tackling.
But isn't checking somebody a part of the game?
No.
What if you kill somebody on a tackle?
No.
Helmet. What if you hit somebody helmet
You helmet to helmet.
and kill them?
Now that's
Right.
an accident.
Kurt, checking is a part of the game in
it's not.
hockey.
Yeah, it is.
Checking
It's
is
a
not
part of the game.
of hockey. No,
Kurt,
it's not.
in hockey, they get to throw punches at each other's face. It's a part of the game.
It's a part of the game for entertainment, but you look at the rules, I guarantee you, there's nothing in the rules that say checking
Kurt,
is
Kurt,
legalized.
Kurt, let me tell you something, Kurt. We have a white guy sitting here just for situations like these. Jim, is it?
I quit. I'm done.
You try to tell me in the rule books checking is allowed?
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm taking a nap.
Look it up there and
I'm
show
so
me.
tired.
Like, well, I'm just saying, Kurt. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm just asking you, what are your parameters on people getting the death penalty? Because if who's a fucking thief? If J.J. Watt can go to jail for killing Tom Brady because he hit him with a tackle in the head to head, and now J.J. Watt's looking at, oh fuck, man, I gotta go to prison now
about that
because
$30 million
because
he raised?
Kurt done put this law into action. Now I got to get the death penalty because I killed terrible Tom. Fuck.
Okay. See,
Terrific Tom.
Terrible Tom.
Yeah, terrific Tom.
I thought it was
Not
terrible Tom.
I agree with Jim.
I thought it was terrible
Terrific
Tom.
Tom. Said you wanted to play.
No, I'm not. I wasn't saying that as a diss. I just thought that's what they called him. I'm sorry.
But it's true difference between accident and purpose. Okay, these plays, these issues you're talking about in a game will be accidental deaths.
Right.
When you out here shooting people, regardless of the fact of what they have in their hands or not, this is a purpose murder.
Okay. Now let me take this to you now. Now we just brought up games, so now we've separated, a game, a sport versus real life.
Right.
Let's say, Kurt, I know you're into some weird shit. Let's say you're in the room with your lady, and you all are on some kinky shit, right? And your woman. Now, let's just say that you guys got some safe words. Let's just say your safe word was porcupine or some shit like that, right? So you all are in there, you're doing your thing or whatever. The gross bumping of skins or whatever. You got sweat flying all over the place. You had candles set up, and you're sweating so much that your sweat is like putting the candles out, right?
Yeah.
Now let's say your woman, she likes to get choked. Just saying.
You're a choker.
Yeah, let's just say she likes to get choked. That's what get her off. So you start choking her, and you're doing your thing, and she can't say her safe word, right? Because she's enjoying herself too much. Then she ends up dying.
Again,
You done choked her to death.
that's an accident. That's not a purpose.
So okay. But Kurt, you just said there's no such thing as accidents.
No, I said when you're driving, there's no such thing as an accident. It's called an incident because you're purposely driving this car. So whatever happens while you're driving this car purposely, it's not an accident. It's an incident.
Okay.
But let me go.
Okay. Well, Kurt, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it.
It's 45.
But so children, you just learned
Stay
that
hydrated.
if you're trying to stay out of prison and not get killed, just choke the person that you don't like. Just choke them to death while you're fucking them, and you don't have anything to worry about.
Oh, you're good.
So, Jim, you're a little tuckered out there, buddy.
Dude, I started getting really tired. I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning and woke up at 9. How long is that? 4.5 hours.
About 4.5 hours, man.
Got 4.5 hours of sleep.
You know, Jim.
I've been drinking. I'm
Let me
tired.
tell you something, man. You wouldn't have to worry about something like that if you were trying to commit a murder on the low by choking your significant other while you were sexing her.
Is that what you guys are? I was sleeping when you guys were talking about
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
it. Does.
So,
I'm sorry, guys. Stay
everybody,
hydrated.
till next week.
Till next week. Deuces.